Welcome everybody to another episode of Providence Lucha Talk. This is Luisito.
Jay Aguila.
And this week it's been, I feel like, honestly, a good week for wrestling. We had a pay-per-view on Sunday. A lot of things happened on that pay-per-view for Payback. And we also had a couple of things happen throughout the week. NXT, AEW, and Raw, which is, we'll get into it today.
And of course, we want to remind you guys to please be sure to follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, on the Instagram, and Twitter, the Providence Lucha Talk, as well. Listen to our audio contents on the Apple Podcasts and the Spotify. But most importantly, we have to say a big happy birthday to our homeboy Luisito. Luisito, how was it, man? How was the birthday being the big 3-1? Anything big, anything magical? Did he had a wrestle match? Like, give us the 411.
It was good. I went out to eat here in Providence and stuff. It was good. Having some time with a couple of my friends that I haven't seen in a while, but it was a good day. I had to stay over their house because I was a little, trying to be safe, so I stayed at their house and came back home afterwards. But it was good. I had a good time, and unfortunately it was NXT, so I missed NXT, but I was able to, since I have kind of like TiVo or recorder, so I was able to play back and watch it back. So I missed the day live, but I was able to catch up on NXT, and I'm glad that I was able to watch back again because it was a good NXT.
Oh wow, dude! It sounded like you had a fun time, but at the same time, you were still dedicated to the podcast. As myself, I'm going to be frank. I have not watched not a single thing of wrestling in these past few shows that were premiered on TV. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I did lose a good friend on August 31st. 44 years old, terrible accident that happened in East Providence with a garbage truck. That's what that's what he was working for. And from there, it's just been downhill. But I have been doing my due diligence to watch the Twitter, watch the Instagram, watch the news. You know what I'm saying? Those where I've been getting a lot of good feedback, a lot of information about what's been going on in the wrestling community. So it's not like I'm shooting in the dark. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to definitely share some insight of what occurred within the past few days. So with that being said, my guy,
when I get into
Roman Reigns being
Payback,
freaking champion.
Crazy.
I think you said it a while back maybe on the last episode for sure, but come on, man.
It was supposed to happen no matter what.
And he's a Paul Heyman guy too.
That's the thing.
Man.
It's like I feel like people need to keep the same level of not dislike or hate, whatever, but the same level of like push, because when he was a good guy and everybody, nobody liked him, everybody has something about it. Then now that he's a bad guy, so he's in a lose-lose situation. So he was like, let me make the best out of it. So now he got Paul Heyman as he's a Paul Heyman guy. I like the new heel version or the new bad guy, whatever. Maybe we could see the Samoan Dynasty, like I've been mentioning before, him and the Usos being brained by Paul Heyman. Either that or Roman Reigns with Brock, because Brock is a free agent at the moment. So I don't know if he's coming back or he might be going to AEW or maybe back to UFC. Who knows?
Who freaking knows? I know this. It amazed me, right? It amazed me that we are still talking about Roman freaking Reigns, and he still is a Vince man. He is a Paul Heyman guy. It's just that I just don't see how or what is going to build out of this, because now that he won the Universal Championship, right? And remember, last year or earlier this year, they implemented that there was no rematch clause. But yet again, we're seeing Sasha and Bayley getting a rematch for the women's tag team championship.
And I called that one too. I was like, yeah, they were gonna lose little by little. They're gonna break it, the whole group. So I'm glad that. Do you think they're gonna win it back?
Well, that's what I'm trying to build up to. Yeah. Do you believe in your heart do you believe in your heart that first, the Fiend, is he going to get the titlement? No, actually, yeah, the Fiend. Do
No,
you think he's going to get the belt back, or is he going to freaking like not worry about it and focus on a different storyline? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he'll win it back. I if I was running WWE, I would not give it back to the Fiend. I feel like the Fiend was a transitional person to take it from Braun Strowman. I feel that's the only person that could have taken it from Braun. Then having
Okay.
Roman Reigns beat Braun, because he didn't pin the Fiend, he pinned Braun. So the Fiend is kind of not undefeated, but he didn't lose the title. He lost it, but not by pin or submission. So I feel like there's still some story within that, and I feel like I think tomorrow, Friday, they're gonna have I think a fatal four, fatal five way. It's gonna be Big E, Matt Riddle, King Corbin, and Sheamus. Of I think it's fatal four of who's gonna have a number one contendership or a chance for the Universal title. So
So
that
Sheamus, Big E,
let me give
Braun.
you the correct one. So it's gonna be Big E, Matt Riddle, King Corbin, and Sheamus. They battle for the Universal title opportunity. I don't know when that will happen. It's gonna be Clash of Champions or at a date further from now. But those four are gonna be kind of the next people up for the Universal title. And I would like to see Big E. Big E needs this definitely to make it.
I don't disagree with that. Big E definitely needs to advance for sure. But is he's going to, like I said, I mentioned this before. Does Roman Reigns help push or put over Big E with this momentum? That's the real question. And now we're going to find out this Friday if it does happen or not. And may I comment? That is not a bad buildup, may I say. You know what I'm saying? That is not a terrible card to display for the audience, for the people. So kudos to WWE,
True.
whoever came up with that. So, with that being said, what I was going
I
to say.
feel like at Payback, I like that. I
Yeah,
have
what's your thought on Payback? You watched it.
two thoughts about Payback. The bad
Facts.
thing about Payback, I didn't like that there was a week build up from the pay per view before from SummerSlam. So SummerSlam happened. Basically, they had one show of each. They had Raw and SmackDown. Then boom, Sunday they had Payback. But I feel like them rushing the show or like story for Payback. I feel like we have better results or better matches. So I don't know if they didn't have a chance to overthink it, but I feel the matches that were provided and given to us for Payback and the results were pretty good. And
Okay. Okay.
this also allowed to get build up for what we've seen Monday, also NXT, and now that we're gonna see Friday SmackDown, and kind of they have some time in between. I think in 2 or 3 weeks from now it's gonna be Night of Champs. I think the 23rd or 27th. I think the second or third week is. Let me get my. I think it's either. I think it's the 27th of September. Is Night of Champions. So now they have 3 or 4 weeks to build up story for Night of Champions, which is I think is pretty good, and I think they're doing a good job overall. But I overall I like the matches. I like the order was decent.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
would have preferred. I'm glad that Bobby Lashley, basically the Universal Championship, it wasn't the main card because in SummerSlam they were at the pre-show, so at least they're getting
Fact.
some residual money from that. It was a good starter. We had Riot Squad and the Iconics as a kickoff match. It was good, and I like that they build a story. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to the Iconics because they lost the match between them and the Riot Squad, which is a good segue for them to be able to split up. I would have preferred. I like this way rather than them feuding with each other, like how
Mm-hmm.
the Riot Squad did. Big E looked great against Sheamus. He looked like a champion. Like if that was like for a title, that looked like a title like match. It was really good. Matt Riddle, Kid Corbin, it was okay match. It was. I feel like Matt Riddle had to win to continue the story and kind of move on up. But I think the match for me, the two matches of the night was the Keith Lee against Randy Orton. Keith Lee
Mm-hmm.
winning, coming straight from a loss at a pay per view against Karen Cross to now being basically main event like Raw and
Mm-hmm.
defeating
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton at a pay per view. His first pay per view, first win, and against what is it, 13, 14 time champion. Incredible. And then we have I think the not the swerve of the night for that night was Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax defeating Bayley and Sasha, which was pretty good. And I like the story that they're making. I think it's kind of like a misfit team, but I feel like I would like them to have the title a little bit longer because I like how Nia Jax acted on Monday and the kind of the interview afterwards. So hopefully they make something out of this and we have this a segue between them and Bayley and Sasha, kind of like a different story, because I want to see it, like, especially that title move around or being challenged throughout the week and stuff. We're gonna see it on Friday, a rematch again, but I would like to see Baszler and Nia Jax to like keep it for a little bit longer. I think it's good for the story, good for them too.
Well, I agree with the Blazer and freaking what's her name, Nia Jax.
Yep.
Keeping the belt for a little bit longer. It definitely could give us more entertainment out of it for sure. Big E, I'm glad that he got that big win, single win in the pay-per-view match, and he's definitely gonna get royalty for it in the near future. So kudos for him. The Iconics, I read on, I think it's Wrestle Talk website, shout out to them, that the reason why they had to break up the Iconics was so Peyton Royce could finally have a single run push. That was the whole premise of it. I respect that decision, and I'm hoping for the best for her. I don't understand much what happened on Raw during the Underground. Like, she threw her partner into the ring, and is that her heel turn or something? Like,
feel like that was like, I feel like Peyton Royce staying in Raw, and I feel that Billie Kay is going to SmackDown. So that's kind of her send off. Not punishment, but when people get fired or move from one place to another, normally they go on a loss. So I feel that's like it's her send off to SmackDown, because I don't think they'll be in the same reign, and they shouldn't. So I think her throwing her to Shafir and Jessamine Duke, I think that was a good go away situation, and I don't think they'll have any feud until they reconnect once again. Similar to what they did to like Edge and Christian, kind of how they split them up.
Okay. I don't disagree with that. I mean, if she's going to SmackDown,
I think probably it might be during like the call-ups when they do the Superstar Shakeup. I think she's still at the moment Raw, but I feel the Superstar Shakeup might happen pretty soon.
That's something that we talked about in the past. We even made an episode about our own bracket. So hey, check it out. The return of Sami Zayn after Jeff Hardy defeated AJ Styles in his match last Friday. What's your thought about it? Do you think it's necessary for the Shinsuke and Cesaro not to pay mind to him anymore? Do you think it's like the right move? Are we going to have a John Cena / CM Punk type of momentum being retold again with the IC title? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good way to bring Sammy back, because we haven't seen Sammy since what?
The beginning of the coronavirus, yeah.
Yeah, like I think Sheamus and Cesaro kind of defended the title for him.
I lie. I think he won the IC title during WrestleMania.
Yeah, but after that, after that he was just gone, because I think he was stuck in Canada. But I like that he came back, because he technically he didn't lose the title. The people that were kind of defended for him lost it, but he didn't. So I like that he brought back a replica, basically his own title that he never lost. And now we probably not unified, but at least see who's the true Intercontinental Champion, which I think Sami Zayn could run with that division, him coming back, which would be pretty cool.
Yes, I definitely agree. It would be cool. What I guess it's just that I felt like the report said that he was relinquished. You know what I'm saying? He was removed from being champion. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, he never lost the belt, but the idea of him having the belt and being like, yeah, I'm still the, XYZ.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know if it really was the smart move from them. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, I don't know. It's just a hard pill to swallow.
And also, like they say, all cards are subject to change, so they could change last minute. Any story or whatever. So that could maybe fit. They could pull that rule in, and since he never lost it, he could come back and be like, I kind of unified the titles and like see who's the true Intercontinental Champion. Either Sami Zayn or Jeff Hardy.
And we know the answer to that.
Yeah, Sami Zayn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You want Sami Zayn?
I think they gave the title. They didn't give it. Jeff Hardy in the story earned the title, or they basically gave the title to Jeff so he doesn't leave. I feel that the title, it's basically a token. Either they give you more money, or they give you a big contract, or they give you the title kind of like a token to be like, hey, don't leave us yet. Because if they wouldn't give him the IC title, he would have left eventually.
I cannot argue with that logic. It's we definitely have reason with it. I just don't want it to be Sami Zayn. Yes, do I like him being a heel? Of course. But do I want him to be my champion heel? No. Do I want Hardy to have the belt? No, I want Sheamus to have the belt. So if they could figure out a way how to, connect those dots for me, I feel very satisfied as a fan.
The piece that puts all the situations against Cesaro. So Sammy and Cesaro could battle.
Also,
so basically, at the moment, so you have Jeff and Sami Zayn. They battle it out, either Night of Champions or whatever, to unify the real IC title. Sami Zayn wins it. Cesaro and Shinsuke are pissed at him, so Cesaro fights him, and eventually, let's say he takes the title from him. Then Sheamus has another feud with Cesaro, which we know those are great battles between the two. Then that's how potentially Sheamus could end up with the IC title by the end of the year, maybe before WrestleMania. Because I don't see Sheamus with the Universal. I feel there's too many people up there. So you have Roman Reigns at the moment. Otis still has a briefcase, so who knows? You have Big E. Maybe Matt Riddle could maybe be a contender up there. You know what I'm saying? So there's people like available at the top. So you need to fill a good content for the mid card, where Sheamus could fit in eventually. And I think that's the only one he's missing. So,
okay, so I don't agree Cesaro is the piece to connect them. I don't agree with that point. I do agree that he can be a. I don't think Cesaro can be part of the buildup of Sheamus. Sheamus just need to figure out a way, either backstage, something backstage where he actually encounter the what's the word I'm looking for? The undisputed IC champion. I think that's the word, right? When you unify it, undisputed. So whoever's the undisputed IC champion, he has to have like a backstage conflict, be like, hey, good win, I'm next, or he sneaks attack it and build that story where he could get the win. That would be my personal way of approaching this, so that way Sheamus could finally be a Grand Slam champion, because that is the goal. I think, honestly, that is the goal. He'd be a Grand Slam champion. Big E try to work with Roman Reigns. That would be beautiful. Who else?
I feel like Otis, the only way Otis could, because he's still gone to
WrestleMania. You saying his name so strongly.
I'm telling you, that's the only way. The only way that Otis could cash that in, either win or lose or whatever, has to be with somebody that basically he. I'm not saying he can't go against them, but somebody he can't go against Braun. He can go against the Fiend. So people that, for example, now Roman Reigns has it, so it's a possibility that maybe he could take it from him. It'd be a weird match and a weird setup, but he's more believable him defeating Roman Reigns than defeating the Fiend or Braun Strowman. If Big E gets his chance, I don't want him to lose it to Otis, but Otis could defeat him. So there's people that like the title's moving along to possible Otis cash in sometime. Because I that's the only thing, because I know he mentioned he wanted the tag team, him and Tucker, but we haven't seen Tucker in a while, and that tag team division, it's no, I don't even remember who's the tag team title. I think it's still, what's it, Siren Shinsuke?
No, I mentioned them, Cesaro and
they're still champions, right? Like, I'm like, all right, whatever. But it's just like
they haven't defended it, but they're still champion.
So, I don't see Tucker sorry, Otis going for the IC title, because that's a mess. I feel like his best thing either go for Universal or go for the tag team. But I think there's still time to, cash it in, because I really thought he was gonna cash it in at SummerSlam. Then he didn't. Then we
I
had
mean,
Payback, and I'm like, that would have been a bad time. Not a bad time for him, but you know how at the end, Roman Reigns basically closed out the show. Imagine if Otis would have like taken Roman out. I feel that would have destroyed the momentum for Roman. So what I'm saying, so I feel like they're trying to find a spot for him to be memorable, either good or bad, for him to cash it in for either for Universal or for the tag team.
hmm. Well, we got to see what they're going to do with this, because that's the one loose end that has not been tied into the storyline of SmackDown. As you guys see, we have all these hypotheses, this conspiracy of what they could do in SmackDown. But SmackDown is definitely doing a good job so far in storytelling, because again, Luisito just mentioned there's a fatal five-way. The SmackDown, not the SmackDown, the women tag team belt will be defended this upcoming Friday, so I think that's going to be some good viewership for SmackDown. You are going to have, oh my God, there's a match that is slipping my mind. I think Roman Reigns is going to be there with Paul Heyman to make some announcement. So again, there's a lot of element, in there that's going to make people want to enjoy, SmackDown. This upcoming September 4th. And I think you guys are definitely in for a show. Let's talk about, you talked about Payback. We talked about a little bit of SmackDown. Yeah. And with Raw, we highlight about the iconic splitting up, Bobby Lashley being the U.S. champion. R-Truth, I think, retained the 24/7 belt.
Yeah, he got it. He got it back from Akira, which was a funny and good way for him. I feel like I like that R-Truth is the centerpiece of that 24/7. But I feel like they either need to bring more people in or have him defend it in legit ways. Because I like the comedy stuff, and it breaks a little bit from the seriousness of Raw. But I feel like I want to see more variety in the comedy instead of just him and Akira Tozawa. How about, just throwing it out there, at least, because he's still new, and I feel like it's going to ruin him a little bit, but why don't you give a chance to Dominic to go against R-Truth for the title?
Because
Dominic Mysterio. Seth Rollins is leaving.
Prince Stereo. That's
he's leaving, Seth Rollins. I feel like either he's going to do something maybe next week or maybe Night of Champions. I feel like the Disciples going to take out a Messiah, I think. So I feel like that's the only way you could write off Seth Rollins. So I feel like not having a story besides them two with Dominic, I feel like Dominic could start doing minor roles to kind of build more momentum and more in-ring skill. He's getting better. I feel from we saw him in SummerSlam to now, for me he has improved and he's gotten better. And also it helps that he's facing Seth Rollins, which is a pro in the ring too. So he makes anybody looks good.
Yeah, Seth Rollins looks good in the ring. I mean, like, look at his match that he had with the triple threat match for the number one contendership for the WWE belt with Keith Lee and Randy Orton. Was it amazing? Yes. Was it? Did he fulfill his role? Yes. Yeah. Did he leave a legacy? Did he leave a story for him to return? The answer is no, because again, Buddy Murphy doesn't have anything to work with. Aleister Black seems to be possessed by what Seth Rollins have. Let's say that Aleister Black and Randy Orton are being cohesive, right? And Seth Rollins decide to bless Aleister Black with the mission. Buddy Murphy be Aleister Black tag team partner, and Randy Orton be the face of it, making a new group, a new stable for Raw. It's still something that if he leaves and returns, let's say within 6 months to a year, it's going to be a whole different thing. He's going to return as a whole different character. So that's my little dilemma right there. It's just like Seth Rollins is not leaving a story for him for his return. I mean, like, what's your thoughts on that?
I feel like they gotta find a story for, especially for Murphy. But we had a sighting of Austin Theory at NXT, so I don't know if they building him back up.
Yeah, he was sent back to him.
He's back. So I don't know if they doing kind of like a restart back in NXT to move him up or something. But I don't think he's coming back be part of as a disciple. So I think he might do like a solo thing for a while. And also AOP, we don't, they still probably recovering from injury and stuff or retraining and stuff. But I feel they need to do something with Murphy because Murphy is a good talent, good in ring, and they don't, they'll have nothing for him. But I feel like it's at the moment they already have the players that they want to use, the pieces they want to use for the following pay-per-views that are coming up. So I feel like after the stories are set, eventually we'll get a scramble amongst everybody that we might get a reboot of the stories, or because even we could see Otis, because basically if you, for example, Otis I feel like Otis is like the X factor for any brand because he's the Money in the Bank. At the moment he's in SmackDown and he can only cash it in SmackDown, but how about he gets drafted to Raw and go, you know what I'm saying? Then it might give a different perspective or view of what's going over there, because we have Randy Orton, we have McIntyre, Keith Lee, so it's like he might switch things up a little bit, but we'll see. I feel like it's getting interesting because Survivor Series, it's like in a couple of months from now, so they gotta build for that, and also who they're gonna move from NXT over to SmackDown or Raw, or like switch over from Raw and SmackDown. So I like how everything's building up. I feel like the second half of this year for WWE's gotten better because the first half was no good.
I mean, again, they were in the scramble. We cannot, just say like they were not good. It's like with the Corona, it's just like they had to scramble. You know what I'm saying? They had to build something out of whatever they could at short period. And a lot of the stuff was like, reruns from pay-per-views and other events that occurred in the past, just so they could figure out how can we fulfill our job as entertainer during this pandemic. So I do agree with you. The improvement of the show quality is better. I definitely 100% with you with that. I wish now that we will have more of a closure with certain areas. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm still like, dear God in heaven, just make Big E champion. That's all I ask. Again, people be like, why you want Big E as champion? Because think about it, man. Him being champion can definitely give more courage that Xavier Wood could be either the US or IC champion or King of the Ring. He has promoted himself on Twitter, King of the Ring, if you pay attention to his Twitter account. So then Big E being champion too, you giving a build-up to another player that nearly meets all the checkbox, all the listing of what a heavyweight champion should be for WWE. He has charisma, he could talk, he could wrestle, and he definitely able to take a loss when it's needed to or not.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
he got a good finisher. I feel like the bigger people don't know how to take the big ending. I think the one he did on Sheamus looked kind of weird, but he also got a good submission, the stretch muffler. So I feel like he got the whole package. They just the push. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people will be behind it. But if we get another WrestleMania moment from basically from the New Day, will be great. We had Kofi Kingston. We have then another wrestling moment. We could have Big E, which would be good. I don't think Xavier will get one of those, but I think he could get a good mid card push for either IC or the United States.
I mean, I definitely agree with that. Definitely, the United States belt, I think, is the one that he been promoting a lot. If those who follow him on Twitch or saw his storyline that he did about his, I think it's the 2007 SmackDown video game.
Mm-hmm.
He has his character Zero of being the U.S. champion. You know what I'm saying? So I think he wants to do the same thing with himself as a real character or be King of the Ring. I mean, like this last episode of Up Up Down Down, he was the king. So I mean, it would be dope if he could be the King of the Ring when he comes back. I wouldn't mind it.
And he could be the second two-time champion, or Apollo not Apollo, sorry, Cruise 2 champ, because he'll have the potentially up down down and another title.
No, he doesn't qualify himself to be a champion under his own division. He's just like the manager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what he has under his titlement. So it's understandable. You know what I'm saying?
Are you liking the? I know it's been almost a month about the Thunderdome. Are you liking the Thunderdome? Hasn't been growing on you, or we had a sighting? We had an Omega sighting at the Thunderdome. Omega was in the crowd, which is kind of funny and interesting that he was like watching the show.
Oh yeah, and then he was like, I think he posted on Twitter, be like, "Let me explain myself." Like, dude, like, if someone made a copy of you and just posted your photo, that's the funniest thing ever. Because, like, again, we have seen Pikachu, teddy bears, the Pope, people sleeping, the KKK, Black Lives Matters. Now we have AEW. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
imagine just to like troll WWE. Imagine the entire roster of AEW signs up and takes over a section.
Ooh, that'd be funny.
And WWE can't deny it. You know, they paid or whatever, had access to whatever, so they sign up, and you know. So imagine they like not promoted, but like invasion. Like this would be a new invasion. It would be like a virtual invasion of WWE.
I'm not mad about that idea at all, my friend. Not at all. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty. NXT did something pretty dope, pretty amazing. 1 hour Iron Man match, Fatal 4-Way. I said it backward, but it doesn't matter. This is our show. We had Adam Cole, Bebe. We had Johnny Gargano. We had Tommaso Ciampa, and we also had the Prince,
Finn
Balor.
Crazy.
I'm not mad at this. I am going to comment this. I already got the spoiler of the ending because someone leaked it on Twitter. So when I read it, I'm like, oh man. But the thing is, they didn't mention who were going to be the two participants to be tied. So as you guys know, there's a tie from this match. And it's 2 win from Adam Cole, Bebe, and the Prince, Finn Balor, two apiece. Johnny Gargano and Thomas both have 1 win each. So they're definitely no longer qualified for the NXT Championship, which sad because I think Thomas definitely deserved the belt that he never lost. That's my personal opinion.
Well, he could go to the North American now. Like now that
he never lost the belt. That's my point.
True. But
he never lost the belt. Like,
I think it's a better story with Finn and Adam Cole than Tommaso.
Word?
Yeah. Because I feel like
say that with full confidence.
Yes, I feel like we had the longest, basically the former champion. Well, the former champion basically, and the longest reigning, and probably one of the OGs of NXT. So basically, I feel like you bring in new and old, even though they're both the same age, but in NXT terms, the new and old going against each other, and I feel like it's building a story because we're gonna have another setup match next week for the official NXT champion, which is great. I really thought they were gonna join together and like do another Bullet Club, but I was reading somewhere that Finn wants to join up with AJ Styles. I don't know if do another Bullet Club or them two together or kind of what they had back in New Japan, but I feel like do what you can now in NXT while you can. Go look at greenest pastures later on when you maybe get redrafted or moved over with AJ Styles. But I feel like this whole thing was great. I like the an hour situation was great. You basically have like your top 4 people going against each other, and it's a good story between because they have a beef with everybody. Basically, all 4 got beef with each other. So I like that, and also like I know Gargano did his thing, but we still could have Gargano either way, with title, without a title. The only thing I would say, Ciampa, him coming back.
I kind of disagree with you with that because again, he never lost the belt. He does have the same quality that Big E has. You know what I reference. But the only thing is that they're not giving him that chance.
Do you think so? If, in that terms, so
is
that
it
means,
his age though?
But if and you're basically using your idea and your concept, so that means Finn Balor should go back for Universal because he never lost it.
Definitely agree with that. However, he kind of got it back in a sense.
He basically faced Roman Reigns. I think he lost against Roman Reigns, but he never had like not an official thing, but like a pay-per-view more like a.
He's a two-time Universal Champion. So going back to my concept, yes, Tomas definitely deserved a chance for the belt that he never lost. That's like a guarantee. If we could allow Sami Zayn to return to SmackDown Live with that same attitude and replica of the belt, I feel like that should have been first with Tomas. My personal opinion, it should have been done with him first, because then you could definitely build more of an interesting story. However, because you had the build up of the story of Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross, Karrion Kross being injured, which we know that's just WWE saying that we're just ending this story, doing something new, and bringing up these four great individuals for only one that's a two-time NXT champion, and I think Finn Balor is also two-time, but somebody fact check me. You have these two people going at it when one of them never lost it. It frustrates me, but I understand business is business. But go ahead, Luisito.
But it's just good overall, and also like, and whenever Karrion Kross comes back, he never lost the title, so you could have those.
But I don't think he's going back to NXT though. That's my thing.
Before one last round, you could have Karrion Kross against Tommaso Ciampa, number one contender. Him go against whoever's champion 6-7 months from now. So I guess it'll be WrestleMania around that time. Then after the Monday after WrestleMania or Tuesday or NXT after WrestleMania, I'm going to whatever, Raw, or how they do call-ups after the Monday after WrestleMania. So that could be a good way for Karrion Kross. I think he deserves something like that, because I don't see nobody else from NXT transitioning over to either Raw or SmackDown. I feel we already had the call-ups that we have, and Keith Lee. It's like that's all we needed at the moment. I don't think we don't need nobody else for now.
So I again disagree with the fact that Karrion Kross is going back to NXT. When he returned, he's going to SmackDown or Raw, depending on who needs them the most. Most likely Raw, because they're going to lose freaking Seth Rollins unless if Adam Cole moves up or Finn Balor go back to Raw. That's the only way Adam Cole or Finn Balor go back to Raw. That's the only way I could see it happen. But again, Tomas definitely deserved the belt. Once again, my personal opinion, I understand where you're coming from. It's just like I'm very passionate about incomplete story. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like this guy needs a happy ever after ending, even if it's not the best way of doing it, but something is something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But he can focus. But I feel like having those two, Gargano and Ciampa, they could once again they could reunite again. Do DIY. No, but I'm saying they've done it.
It was one and done.
They've done
it.
They've done it, so they could do it back again.
One and done of their unity.
You could also do them two for the North American, because I feel that Damian Priest is gonna need people to go against him. I know you have Bronson Reed and other people, Cameron Grimes and stuff, but I feel like if you add somebody of NXT title like level onto the North American level, that heightens the prestige of the North American, and it makes it more competitive. So at least it gives people to rotate around instead of just having the same people going for the NXT. You could rotate out.
Okay, so my response to that is the following, right? The same group of people you use for the Fatal 5-Way or Fatal 6-Way ladder match.
Mm-hmm. For the North America, so the people that 5 people on the pay-per-view.
Sorry about that. I got a message on my phone. But yes, if those 6 other individuals, including Valentine Dream, go for the North American belt, I would not be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think Triple H is willing to put that belt around Valentine Dream, which we wanted it before this whole incident, Me Too situation happening. And I'm not saying incident as a in insensitive way. I'm just saying, like, because of this coming to light, it, it kind of messed up his opportunity for the belt. That's
And
what
now
I'm
they
trying
have
to say.
two people that have to worry about, because now they have also Austin Theory. So
But Austin Theory is in the safe house with NXT,
yeah.
where he's going to be demonstrated, but I don't think he's going to be pushed to be a face. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's going to be anything spectacular going to be happening with him later on in the future. So I think Austin Theory may just be, joining the Legado de Fantasma, or maybe be
so he
part
could get
of
jumped again
Breezango.
by like he can't.
He ain't going to be a champion. He ain't going to be a champion unless
he can't be around Latin American people. Everybody kicks him out. Like he's trying to fit in, but
bro, if he looks Latino, maybe talk like Latino, and maybe whatever, he could be Latino. We don't know.
Yeah,
like
could be.
Viva la Rostov for all the way he could pronounce it, but it could make sense. It could make sense. I'm not the matchmaker, but if I was, I promise to you people that I would never, ever put Roman Reigns again as champion. That's just my thought on that.
I think
that's but back to the main cause. Okay. So Adam Cole, Finn Balor, we went down that rabbit hole like there's no tomorrow. Are we still good in time?
We're good.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So with that being said, let's talk about something even more serious. Is that Damian Priest was found in a hot tub full with hot babes in Triple H with the thumbs up of approval.
Were those the same chicks as the Raw Underground? Maybe they have to not recycle, but it'd be like, hey, you're not on Raw Underground.
Your choice of words are so harsh.
You're not being used in Raw Underground. Let's move you over to NXT. But, so maybe
he said. Yeah, that's real funny. Let's recycle you. I'm sorry. Professionalism. I don't know who were they, to be honest with you. I don't know if they were from PC Center or whatever they are. I just know that Damian Priest, being as old as he is in a pool full with babes. And I'm just like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
For
me, he's a good wrestler and everything. For me, just his whole gimmick.
Say it with a straight face.
His whole gimmick doesn't make sense to me. Like, he tries to be like Blade or like somebody like Matrix. But I'm like, you're a little, like 20 years too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, doesn't, but it's just like for him, you can, on the guy. But you can make it like, especially somebody like him, like when he was Punishment Martinez, it fit. But like, the whole concept, it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't work.
It doesn't please you. It doesn't please you anymore. You're not that excited for your boy.
No, he's excellent. I feel like now that he's a champ, not kind of repeating the words of Miz, like he should be more serious and stuff. But I feel like a veteran like himself, should not adjust his gimmick, or like now that he got championship, we haven't seen him on TV yet since he won I think it's been like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So we might see him, cutting promos and be more vocal, and maybe an adjustment of his like gear or attire or whatever. But I just want to see more of him because he's a veteran, and with those who follow him on the indies, we know what he's done and what he could do. So I feel like I'm just gonna give it a shot and see what he has to give us as a champion. But I feel like the gimmick is just like, I feel like it's stuck in the ninth. Like, this would be great in the Attitude Era. I don't know about now. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, Luisito said that. Well, Luisito, I'm not gonna be mad at what you just said. I mean, like, you know more of the indie than I do.
Because wouldn't he fit that gimmick? Wouldn't it fit perfectly with DX?
I guess it, like,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just know he's a champion right now, and I'm not that fond of him as a champion. Personally, I'm not that fond.
But we haven't seen him since he won the title. Like, he cut a promo, and that's it. So now we gotta, I guess, wait and see who's next. So are we seeing, Cameron Grimes or Bronson Reed or Austin Theory or whomever in the mix for it, or Velveteen Dream and stuff, and we could see how he's handling the North American title per se. But I feel like we haven't seen him on TV, so we kind of in the blind about his reign. Yeah, it's only been 2 weeks, so.
I mean, fair enough. But I thought I brought some laughter with that, per se. I guess let's get into AEW. AEW farewell episode before the pay-per-view, All Out.
It's this Saturday, which is going to be good.
Yep, September 5th. Unfortunately for me, I'm going to be at a funeral, and it sucks. However, me not watching the show helped the numbers because, the rating was, I think, 925K, which is not that bad.
That's about probably one of the highest one that they've had. I think that's probably second or third highest one that they've had. I think 928,000 views.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So right there, dude. It shows that WWE should not go toe to toe with this, with this brand.
Mm-hmm.
They should, like you said, move it to Tuesday. I'm not sure you said during the recording, or before the recording, but you said they should move it to Tuesday, which I agree, and then let Wednesday be AEW.
Do you think it was not by choice? Do you think it was a good strategy for WWE, or do you think AEW not forced them to move, but do you think AEW kind of forced them to move, and the corporate USA was like, hey, you guys are not giving us numbers, let's try it a different day? And Tuesday was, I think, this Tuesday was probably the first Tuesday, and they were successful and they had good numbers. So do you think it was a corporate thing, or it was just an environmental or competition?
Dude, that's a really, really good question. When I think about this, right, I'm thinking about the build-up, the storytelling. I'm thinking about what type of cable service people have, what people are more into. And I think WWE understood the hard way that not everybody is committed to them on Wednesday because of that division, because of AEW, or what AEW is. So I figured they just learned a lesson that AEW, and again, this is still a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be 1 year old in October. Mid of October, it's going to be 1 year old.
Yeah.
And look at the damage it did to NXT, a program that's been around for years. And when I say years, you got to also consider the FCW program that they were doing, or
OVW too.
OVW as well. And the what was the other program that they were doing? Tough Enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was also part of the development to what the product is today, which is NXT. So again, you got to put that all into factor in seeing that AEW, with the number of stars that they have, it's amazing that they made WWE be like, you know what? You take Wednesday on TNT, we'll take Tuesday, because they were doing fine. Monday, Tuesday, they were doing Monday Raw, Tuesday SmackDown, Wednesday NXT, Thursday and Friday they were chilling. You know what I'm saying? Now they have Monday, Tuesday, which is fine, because then you could build up a great story, and then Friday you have SmackDown on on Fox Sports. So
the only thing I feel like it's gonna be tough is if, let's say, AEW not forced them out of Wednesdays, but basically the competition was so strong that you basically have to move to Tuesdays. Impact is getting better. So do you think that they might be, you know what I'm saying?
We got to talk about that roster real quick. Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? Do you think that, Impact, 'cause I know it's not in a main...
By roster, I'm talking about the women division.
What is it? I think they're in Access TV, AXS TV. So it's it's not a well-known channel itself, but they have a good roster. A lot of people are been moving over from that have been free agents throughout from AEW, NXT, all together to Impact or TNA. So I feel like if AEW is able to do them and by kind of competitive advantage, move them over to Tuesdays. I hope TNA doesn't do that to NXT. Then they're gonna be stuck once again back to the network, which I hope that doesn't occur. But I feel like they're in a good spot right now on Tuesdays, but it's gonna be tough. And I think they bring it back as well, NXT UK. So I don't know if it's gonna be back.
It is back. Walter, the tag team champions, they already made their video promo on Twitter, which is pretty good. Also, I think they're taking over the BTS sports, which is they made it into like an indoor arena. A lot of TVs. So I think they're using the same concept as the Thunderdome. But I'm still looking for the roster for the women roster for Impact.
But they have a good roster. I feel like it's gonna be tough for them. But I like that they moving to Tuesday. And it's gonna make it kind of like old school, like Monday, Tuesday, like you mentioned. How we used to have Raw and SmackDown. But I think it's I think they need to fortify the NXT if they bring. I think it'd be better if they bring NXT UK into like regular NXT, or they could oversaturate the week and have it on Tuesdays but on TV. I don't know how they're gonna manage that, from British time to US time, like UK time to here, but I think they should be doing that pretty well. But I'm kind of like, while you look at the TNA,
no, I got it. I'm just waiting for you to give me the chance.
But they have a good roster overall, and basically most of the people that left WWE now most of them are champions now in TNA. So we have Deonna Purrazzo, which is the current champion, which is great, and we have a lot of people like moving into the main star.
So in the listing, we do have Taya Valkyrie, which is the wife of Johnny
John Morrison or Johnny Mundo or Johnny Wrestling.
Whatever. Yeah. You got Kimberly Lee. You have Kyrie Ray. You have Madison Rain. You have the demon assassin Rosemary. I think she had a match with Shira, right? Or not Shira?
No. Oh no. So Rosemary, no, somebody else. Rosemary had a match with Callie Ray when they were doing the Wrestle House, and now Callie Ray. So basically, for the women's division, you have at the moment Deonna Purrazzo as champion, but now you have Tennille Dashwood. She used to be Emma back in the day, returning back. You have Jordan Race, and you also have Callie Ray as like the top four of that division.
Yep, you also have Jessica Havoc as well. You have the Real Steel Aisha as well. She's a knockout wrestler. You also have Real Steel. They have their tag right next to each other. You already talked about Tenelli. We have Neva, and we also have Hogan Knows Best. What the fuck? Who's this? Okay, so technical difficulty on the Instagram account because all of them are like tagged like right over each other. So again, the names is really fulfilling. If you're looking at if you go to Impact Wrestling account and you look and you'll find it on the top row, they have 15 knockout wrestler, women division, but 15. My guy, that's more than AEW could pull out of their ass, and it's so like how.
But also, I feel that they have the volume and they have the people, they have enough TV time.
True.
But the quality at the moment, what AEW has, it's slightly better. And I feel that since they might have collaboration with NWA, that female roster might be shared amongst the two, which would be great. Because we saw Thunder Rosa yesterday in AEW, and she did a great thing. I wish, the person that she went against, she was a veteran, kind of pushed her to the edge. But I feel like, for me, I would have preferred Thunder Rosa finish the person quickly. But I like that they kind of push it a little to the extreme just to see her full arsenal for those who are not aware of NWA or Thunder Rose and stuff. So she had a good exhibition yesterday at AEW, which was great. I don't think she's gonna win the title from Riho, from Miracle Shida, but it's gonna be a good match.
Okay. Hey, you heard Luisito said it on the Providence Lucha Talk. My God, I think we all already passed a little bit of the time, so let's just do the closing ending. Guys, you got to watch SmackDown. You got to watch what's going to happen on AEW All Out. Yes, we didn't do our prediction for the card, but most likely we're just going to post it on the Instagram page, on the Facebook page. We're going to post it maybe on the Twitter, maybe talk about it on the YouTube. And all you could get all this information is by doing two things: following us. You just follow us on those social media platforms. You'll be updated with us toe to toe, similar to what's been going on with the wrestling community as well. Kofi Kingston is doing a cameo. All right, he is in cameo, but portion of the money is going to the son of what's one boy name again that passed away?
Clark, the one
no,
that
from the water that he saved his son's life.
the JTG's
partner. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. His name. I'm sorry, guys.
Jaspar.
Yeah, Jaspar.
Jaspar. Yeah.
Yeah. So portion of the money is going to for his son, like building the fund for his son. So that's pretty dope. So those who like him, I'll definitely give that a shout out. We don't get paid for it, but I feel like in my heart that it should have been said because it's a good cause and I believe in it. So our audio content is on Spotify and as well Apple Podcasts. So don't miss out. So this is your boy Jay Aguila.
This is Luisito.
And we say good night and deuce.
Good night. See ya.